Let's talk some news, man. And this is big. This is Trump vetoes major defense bill citing Section 230. This is significant because it's the authorization for national defense. It is a massive spending bill. It is a ridiculous spending bill. One of the most famous instances of the NDAA was when Obama signed into law something called the indefinite detention provision, which was included in it, and it allowed the U.S. government basically to like rendition anyone anywhere, like take you and black bag you, like, you know, like V for Vendetta, where Creedy puts the bag over your head and then like zips it and they drag you out. That's basically what it authorized. So, you know, seeing Trump veto this, I laughed. When I heard Trump was going to do it and he tweeted about it, I started laughing. But let's read. TechCrunch reports, following through on his previous threat, President Trump has vetoed the $740 million, million, not billion, National Defense Authorization Act, a major bill that allocates military funds each year. In tweets early this month, Trump said he would sink the NDAA if it wasn't altered to include language terminating Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, an essential and previously obscure internet law that the president has had in his crosshairs for the better part of a year. Quote, your failure to terminate the very dangerous national security risk of Section 230 will make our intelligence virtually impossible to conduct without everyone knowing what we are doing at every step. Trump said in a statement on the veto, it's not clear what the president meant or what he was referring to in criticizing the military funding bill as a gift to China and Russia. I just got to say, I have no idea what he means by that Section 230 thing. And I think Trump fundamentally misunderstands what Section 230 is, probably because his understanding of it is being filtered through, you know, one or two people. So you'll get someone like me being like, yo, we need Section 230 reform. Section 230 is a problem. Someone will hear that and then be like, yeah, Section 230 is a problem. And then Trump will be like, it's a problem? All right, I'll get rid of it. It's like, no. You get rid of it, we're all banned. We don't want to do that. So let's see. They say Trump tweeted about it. The president cited bipartisan calls for a Section 230 repeal in his decision in spite of the NDAA's overwhelming bipartisan support. So basically what's going to happen now is Mitch McConnell says December 29th, he's going to come back in, override Trump's vetoes to make sure every single Trump supporter knows the Republican Party hates you, hates your president. I'm being a little hyperbolic here. But yeah, come on. Mitch McConnell doesn't like Trump. There was a really great comic. I don't know if you guys follow George Alexopoulos, who got his paintings up on the walls. He just put one out where it basically looks like the Lion King, I guess. Trump is hanging from a cliff and like reaching out, and then Mitch McConnell jams his fingers into Trump's hands, and then Trump's like falling to his death. Like the Lion King and Scar.
Oh, I want that one.
Yeah, it's so good, man. I'd love to get it.
Awesome.
But look, if Section 230 goes, our show's gone. The reason why there's probably bipartisan calls to repeal Section 230 is because the establishment hates us. They hate you. They do. Now I'm not being hyperbolic. They hate you. They hate me. They hate Joey. They hate Ian. They especially hate Lydia. The establishment just really doesn't like
Lydia. I know. What is it about Lydia?
I don't
They
know.
got a wanted poster.
Because she's pushing the buttons, man.
That's true.
They're like, oh, Lydia.
Architect.
Yeah, so look, the establishment Democrats would love it if the mainstream media were the only game in town. And so you get rid of Section 230, and then overnight, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube are flooded with lawsuits. Many of them probably meritless, and then they're just going to be like, we're done, ban everybody. We don't care. You know what YouTube will do? They would love this. YouTube's been trying to get rid of everybody for a long time. And so they're doing something like, I don't know if you saw this, Joey, with what Pornhub just did recently.
I did see that.
Banned all non-verified content. That's it. If you're not a verified channel, you're gone.
I used to have a whole photo.
Pornhub channel?
Yeah, no, like bookmarked, like my favorite porn.
You're very calm about it.
Just chilling,
yeah.
10 years worth of stuff.
I'm with you.
80% of it's gone. I'm
Brutal.
like, this has been my library, you know?
Evergreen content, you know?
Yeah.
The livelihoods for some people. I mean, in all seriousness, a lot of people just lost their jobs when that happened.
I know there's like Pornhub like creators, like YouTube.
Yeah.
And, like, they'll do like porn vlogs. Am I allowed to say that word?
cool.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't.
Probably
like,
not.
want
We'll
you to
probably
get flagged.
demonetized, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Merry Christmas,
Vlogs,
everybody.
is that what we call them?
Porn.
But
Porn
yeah,
vlogs?
but like it's like people have their own channels, and you know they can make money. I guess my understanding is now they're doing crypto because MasterCard and Visa cut them off. But this is what's coming for everybody. They start with Pornhub. They always do it this way too, because they know regular people won't publicly fight for it. For the most part, like nobody wants to get them on a pedestal and be like, we must protect our porn.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, nah.
Yeah, they go after the
Won't
worst
touch
of
it,
society first.
Yeah.
To
Or
implement
or just like
their-
the socially, the fringes. And now I'll tell you what comes next. They did this thing. We talked about it a little bit last week where YouTube got rid of verification for tons of channels. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember they stripped I wonder if I'm still verified.
Well, there was a backlash, and so they said, okay, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. I was actually one of the approved channels where I got an email saying, you're all good, we love you, you're verified. But eventually, I think what's going to happen is they're going to start so right now, they already said, we're going to put ads on content that isn't in the partner program, meaning you upload videos, you're not the part, like they'll make money off you.
Because YouTube's been, they're losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
Oh, yeah, just nonstop. Yeah. I think what comes next is they're going to be like, if you're not a verified account in the partner program, we are going to stop promoting you in the algorithm. And they're going to say, you'll still be able, or they'll say like, we'll stop recommending you as much. This is because, we're trying to improve quality for all of our creators and make sure they can make money. It'll be great news for all of the bigger creators who will now see bigger viewership and things like that. And then they're going to start getting rid of smaller channels, fringe channels, people with the wrong opinions. Yeah. Gone.
And you know what? It's two things. They're doing it, one, for business reasons, and then two, because they have bias. And the business reasons why they're doing it is because the whole adpocalypse situations where, CNN or the late night show, they can post whatever they want, and they have reserve ads on the back end where they're
what does that mean, reserve ad?
So, first off, I'm assuming they're in the Google Preferred program where they're getting the most exclusive, highest paying ads. And then also on the back end, to fill the extra ad slots, they have direct deals with companies like Coca-Cola to fill that extra space, and they pay a premium. So obviously YouTube and Google, they get a cut of that. So that's one of the reasons why they want to promote, traditional media there, because they have their own set of ads, from direct deals. So business-wise, it makes sense. But that's not what YouTube is, and that content only gets views when they feature it on the homepage. Right. Nobody's
and it's when you go to the front page of YouTube, and I'm sure all of you watching have seen this. There's like the COVID news bar, and everything's thumbs down to oblivion. It's like 10, 20% thumbs up. It's all just obliterated because nobody wants to watch that garbage.
Yep.
So YouTube's trying to be Netflix. If we get rid of Section 230, YouTube's going to start square dancing. All the CEOs are going to be laughing. They're going to be like, that's it. All the conservatives, all the moderates, independents, you're gone. MSNBC guys, progressives, all right, we'll give you a pass. But if we keep Section 230, the track we're on right now is still really bad for independent voices, smaller channels, or anybody who's even big and wants to challenge the system. Because you could have 1 million subs, but you give a wrong opinion, you're gone.
Yeah, and it's... What these social medias, the thing is, I'm more into the free market. Where at first, when this was an issue like 5 years ago, I was like, they can do what they want. They're a business, they can operate it however they want. But then over time, realizing these social medias have a monopoly on free speech on the internet. Like the World Wide Web, like if you make your own website, you can only generate traffic to your website is if you promote it on Twitter, promote it on YouTube, promote it on Facebook.
Buy ads, buy a billboard, I guess.
Yeah, billboard on Sunset
Joey
Boulevard.
buy a billboard, on Sunset.
Or a commercial on the Super Bowl for $1 million.
Yeah, so...
How much they cost? They cost
something
way
like
more
that. $1 million a minute or something. Are they more? Probably way more.
Way more than that. Yeah, it's probably like.
But like, you could make a YouTube video. It's worth 10 times a commercial on the Super Bowl.
I should buy a billboard somewhere.
Well, Super Bowl commercials are like notoriously bad for no ROI. Like if you're a new company and you're getting Super Bowl commercials, like your stock tanks because all the
because they know it's a bad investment.
I think it was Pets.com is like one of the most famous stories. I think it's it was like a pet type of website for adopting animals. And they spent, I think, tens of millions of dollars, and 6 months later, a year later, they're out of business.
Huh. Wow!
Because they got no return on that investment.
And like the problem with billboards and commercials is that there's no click through. You can't like see a commercial and click the button to go to the website. Whereas on Twitter, you just click the link.
And you can target exactly who you want to target. Everybody who loves pets and animals, anyone who's Googling how to buy a dog, you can target them.
Mm-hmm. Google set it up that way too. They set up their algorithms to track what people like so that you could use their service to find people that like what you're looking for.
Yeah, and they're all sharing data. So my girlfriend for my birthday, she got me an air fryer, and she ordered it on Amazon. And then we're watching TV. We're watching IMBD TV, and we're watching Malcolm in the Middle. And an ad for that exact thing that she bought pops on the TV.
Yeah,
the exact product.
Happens
exact
all the time,
listing.
man. It's creepy.
Yeah.
They know you better than you know yourself.
Yeah.
Facebook knows when you poop. I'm not kidding. I was reading an article about it. Yeah, because people don't realize that there's things like your favorite color correlates to other things about you. You know what I mean? So someone could ask you a bunch of questions that you think makes no sense. They'll be like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite sport? Where are you from? And then all of a sudden they'll be like, your favorite pasta is, linguine with pesto. And you're like, what? How did you know that?
They're making like a statistical analysis. People who like this also like that.
Right.
If you like all three of these things, you're definitely liking this fourth.
I'll tell you what, if YouTube does the verification purge, it's going to be really, really good business-wise for channels like this. So right now, I remember when YouTube did that announcement about, what was it called? Like the CP something, the Child Protection Act, CPAA.
Yeah.
And everyone's freaking out. All of the creators that do vlogs were really worried because they were like, if we're deemed a channel for children, we don't get access to targeted ads and our revenue is going to drop by like 80%. And I started laughing. I'm like, wow, this is great. I do politics. There's no way you're going to argue this stuff's for kids. And that means we're going to get all of those targeted ads, and all that ad revenue is going to go more likely to us than them. If YouTube purges, over time from the partner program, a bunch of channels, that means, and they start promoting more verified and confirmed.
The viewers consolidate around the top 1% of the top 1%.
What do they say? It's like 40 million. What is it? How many views per month does YouTube get? $1 billion?
Shit,
billion views. But if you got 1 billion channels and there's 1 billion views, you get 1 view per channel. So get rid of all but 10 channels, and now everyone's getting.
They're kind of doing it already. They have their select group of favored creators. They're the only ones that have access to the trending tab. They're getting, Google Premium ads. They're on all the VidCon billboards. I think YouTube owns the VidCon event, which is like the creator type of thing.
Trash event, by the way.
That was made by the Vlog Brothers. Didn't they conceptualize?
Yeah, that was the Greens, right?
Yeah, John and
those guys went
Hank
crazy.
And John.
Hank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hanky.
those two.
They went kind of crazy. It's
strange.
really weird how the social media drift created this class of people who were trying to out-left each other. Mm-hmm. That's so weird. It's like, bro, remember where Jon Stewart used to be? That's where we were all at. But you guys kept trying to one-up each other, I guess, to like prove your value or virtue.
Yeah,
so they went further and further left every single day.
That's how they make themselves feel morally superior. So they're morally superior to you because they support Black Lives Matter. They care about black people. You don't.
Well, but I think like the Vlog Brothers were doing it because it was popular marketing. Mm-hmm. So you get social media, and all of a sudden the craziest activists are screaming at the top of their lungs. And then you're like, how do I get attention? Wow, everybody's talking about this. I should talk about this too. So you look, it makes sense, man. If you're in the business of attention, where this is what we are, this show, like the goal of this show, not directly, is to keep people watching it as long as possible. The goal of YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter is to keep you looking at that screen on their website as long as possible. It's the attention economy. And then as we do, we sell ads. So for us, it makes sense to talk about important political news and, talk about what we believe in and stuff. And naturally, that generates an audience of like-minded people. What they're doing is the inverse. They see a big audience of crazy far leftists, and they think, that's my path to make money. Now, it's funny as the leftists accuse, like, us of doing that. Grifting of, like, they're like, Tim Pool used to be, like, super left, and now he's conservative or whatever. And it's like, well, first of all, like, opinions change. Yeah. Like, earlier this year, I was not I was not 2A, like, hardcore as I am now. Now I'm, like, very much 2A.
It's between you kind of drifting a little bit more right, and then also the spectrum of the left
shifting.
Also shifting.
But I actually moved further left, actually.
Yeah.
So my political compass test, I'm actually further left libertarian. I used to be, like, pretty liberal. Now it's, like, down and, like, more left libertarian. But leftists are not. A lot of conservatives don't get this. The actual economic left, libertarian, they are pro-gun. They're not anti-gun. It's the establishment elites, the authoritarian groups that are pro-gun. Even the authoritarian communist types are pro-gun. How are they gonna have the revolution? Yeah. So they're definitely pro-gun. There's a Reddit page for socialist gun rights and stuff like that. So anyway, but what happens is you have people like the Vlog Brothers who are, look, I'll leave them out of this, but I'll wrap them in the bigger picture. Celebrity. What are celebrities for? They're marketing. That's it. They're people. They are marketing. The reason why they put Brad Pitt in the movies is because they put Brad Pitt's name on it. You go see the movie. So the same thing with these YouTubers. The goal is they want to generate as much attention as possible. When they see everyone's clamoring about social justice, they're like, ooh, I can do that too. I can do that too. The right has that. there are certainly people who are like, I've decided to support this or that because it's going to make me money. But I think that's a tendency of the left more so. So it's like it's disproportionate. You have more leftists or fake leftists who pretend to be left doing that than you have people supporting Trump. The people who support Trump tend to really support the guy.
Yeah, and it's when Trump, supposedly lost the election, I was just getting flooded with people saying, give it up already. Stop crying, you crybaby. Trump lost. Get over it. I'm like, wait, first off, the election's not over. Trump didn't concede. Whatever's happening's happening. But I'm like, they don't understand the difference between having a passion for the country, a passion for actually liking the president. They don't understand the difference between having a passion and then yelling and screaming and crying at the sky.
Yeah.
When Trump lost election night, we took, what's the legal process? Let's investigate. Let's do this. Let's do that. When the Democrats lost in 2016, it was just screaming and yelling at the sky.
They had their celebrity videos where they were like, the electors, you must not vote for Trump. You must be faithless and defy. Right now in Iowa, there's a woman. Her name is Rita Hart. She lost by 6 votes. Guess what she's doing? Suing to overturn the results.
Yeah.
Arguing that they should reinstate 22 mail-in ballots that were disqualified because then she wins.
Yeah.
And I say, okay, well, you have the legal right to do it by all means. It's funny, though.
When these elections are that close, and even Trump, lost by 10,000 votes in some states with 3 million, 4 million in population. 10,000 votes is nothing comparatively to the population.
Well, Trump only won 2016 by like 77,000 votes.
Yeah.
He got a big electoral victory, but there were 3 states where he only got like 0.1%, like really thin margins. But it's funny to see the Democrats are like, when we lose, it's okay for us to overturn the results. And I don't see any of these news outlets saying this is shaking confidence in our elections and it's evil and wrong. No, they're in support of it. The person who's filing the suit on her behalf, or like who's working with a lawyer, is one of the lead critics of Trump in his legal effort to overturn the results. So it's like this guy goes on Twitter all day and he's like, Trump is, what he's doing is wrong and he's going to lose. It's ridiculous. How dare he? And then I'm going to file the exact same lawsuit for my person. And don't look over here, everybody.
The left, their ideology is like a sliding scale. There's no consistency. It's like all about what benefits them at that particular moment, at that point in time.
Right.
Where one day the left can be on Twitter praising the Constitution because something went their way, and then the next day say the Constitution was founded by a bunch of racists.
Right.
And now we need to destroy it. So yesterday you just loved the Constitution because it helped you. Now you want to rip it up.
Of course.
I was thinking that power, just kind of in general, they say power corrupts people. Yeah. And that this social media view count is like a source of power when you have the ability to go click a button and tell someone something and 1,000 people hear you say it. That people are getting slowly driven insane. And then when they get the likes and they're like, oh, when I did that complaint, it got a bunch more likes from those crazy. And then they get even crazier. And so you've got people in politics going crazy. We call them the left, or the people in social media, like not Brad Pitt's crazy, but these cult, these YouTubers that end up
the vlog
going too
brothers
far.
Go insane.
Yeah.
And it happens on both sides too. I mean, it happened with me at points on Twitter. It's like, okay, let me keep saying this, and it keeps getting more and more likes, or let me make videos on this and just push the edge.
It drove me to insanity in the early days of YouTube. I thought the only reason people liked me was because I was crazy. Like I would smoke weed and talk about the craziest stuff. People were like, this guy's insane. But those videos would get the most views.
Exactly.
And so I kept doing it and tried to out-insane myself, and I was getting depressed, and it drove me insane. I almost killed myself.
That's why I'm so controversial online with my pranks, because the algorithms were rewarding being controversial, being offensive, doing crazy, just crazier and crazy. And you get to that point where you're realizing, oh, wow, I took it kind of far. And then you kind of take that step back.
There's people who don't realize they get caught in the algorithmic loop, and then they start producing more and more and more. Mm-hmm. I think people need to recognize what this is. But I will tell you something: these big tech companies will ban the right, so the wall is set, right? So if you're on the right, and you start seeing, you'll tweet something, you'll get more likes. So you tweet more of it, you go crazy, you get more followers, you get more shares. Then Twitter bans you. You went too far, they say. We see you go too far. You should have stopped. It's too bad. You're out. On the left, you can literally call for riots and terrorism and violence, and they won't remove it.
Yeah, listen to this. When I got banned on Twitter, I made another account called Not Joey Salads or whatever, and it was not me. It was somebody else was running it for me. And I did that. I went through 3 different Twitter accounts. So that account in particular got banned because I replied to the LA mayor saying, but sure, just let them burn the city down, sarcastically, because he was talking about Black Lives Matter or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I got banned for inciting violence immediately. The very next day was when they were calling for riots.
Yeah.
Because RBJ, Ruth Ginsburg, died.
Yeah.
The very next day it was trending, burn it down or whatever.
Of course, man.
And I got banned for being sarcastic.
When I was on the Joe Rogan show with the people from Twitter, we pulled up a tweet that had been up for months that was calling, like, I think the tweet itself was a felony. And I was like, why is that tweet still there? And they're like, I don't know.
Oh, we can't monitor every single tweet that's being
And I was
posted.
like, but you could see that replies to it were banned.
Yeah.
So you had this tweet from an Antifa account calling for overt violence, instructing people to commit violent, felonious acts. And it was fine. Below it, it was like, this tweet has been removed for violation of the policy. This is removed.
Yeah.
And so when they were like, well, people have to report these things for us to notice. And I was like, the replies are banned. Clearly people are reporting this like crazy, and each other.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, all these social medias, if they don't, they're stupid. They definitely have certain key phrase algorithms that determine if you tweet saying, I want you to burn whatever down, whatever. They know in their algorithm. And I know TikTok does this a lot. If they scan the video and they notice something that's questionable, they'll actually put the video on hold, send it to a review to determine, okay, was this a violation? Okay, it wasn't, and then it gets cleared. So YouTube.
But you know what TikTok used to do? They was really clever. If on YouTube somebody is getting cyberbullied, YouTube will ban the bullies. On TikTok, if somebody was getting cyberbullied, they'd ban the victim. Because think about it, it makes a lot of sense. If you don't want bullying on your platform, do you ban the 300 bullies or the one victim? Well, if you want your user numbers to be inflated, you don't want to ban 300 people.
Can't do that.
Ban the victim.
Yeah,
now the
TikTok-
bullying is gone. Congratulations. Only beautiful people get to be on our platform.
Yeah, TikTok's done a lot of sketchy stuff when it comes to, favoring beautiful people in the
China.
algorithm.
It's China.
It's weird because when I'm on TikTok, I even though it's owned by China or in bed with China,
Yeah.
it's still, I think, more free speech than the other platforms.
That's
which
nice.
is
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.